let me just say also that people who are for democracy and for stopping violence, we ought to be playing the second gun. We ought to all know it, all understand about it, and the JFK movies and all those stuffs. You know, if we really were for democracy and for stopping violence, we would feel no shame whatsoever in getting to the truth of these murders. And it's interesting, like Von Prague had that, if you search for YouTube, search for Von Prague stuff, they had an audio tape that proves that there were more than 8 shots, but you know, it looks like the district attorney in the LA County District Attorney Cooley is part of the Protect Thane Cesar committee, you know, because they're not in or the city government, the federal, the United Nations could do stuff, but they're not going to. I mean, do you think that these people are going to prosecute Thane Cesar before he dies for murdering a U.S. senator? I mean, do you think that will ever happen? I mean,
no, probably not. But this will go down into the history books. Paul Schrade has never been a consistent friend of the second gun probe. He is a good man, and he is a friend of Bobby Kennedy, but he never had the balls to tell Teddy Kennedy the truth. He kept in touch with one of his contacts in his office. I went to Teddy Kennedy's office, and I went to all the Kennedys, but Paul Schrade congratulated me when he was startled to see the Joling Von Prague book, which is on the internet under Joling's name, Robert J. Joling, and under Von Prague's name.
Yeah.
And there's 2 DVDs with it. Now,
I want to just talk about the symposium in Pennsylvania. Now, Ted was invited to the symposium. Do you want to talk about that too?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, he was invited to the symposium called Making Sense of the 60s. Making Sense of the
Teddy?
60s. Yeah.
There is there's the music.
Oh, there's music in the...
Yeah.
We pick up radio on these wireless mics. The wireless mic is a tough battle. Can you still hear music?
Yeah. Well, there's some music here.
Is there? Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can maybe change the... Do you still hear it?
No, the music. Oh, you mean the music?
Do you hear the audio okay?
I didn't hear you.
Can you hear the audio? Let me listen.
Oh, didn't hear.
Can you hear? Check 1 2. Test 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. It's all right. It's okay. Okay, so getting back to this. I can edit it. Yeah. So let's get to this. Onto the symposium. It was Making Sense of the 60s at Duquesne. Under
Dr. Cyril Weck and his son Ben Weck auspices.
I mean, there were a lot of people there. Peter Dale Scott. You see, I'm moving my muscles. Peter Dale Scott, who's amazing. He's a smart, brainy guy. I mean, really genius guy. William Pepper from Martin Luther King Jr. Robert Kaiser, who, of course, the shield. Robert Joling with a new book. Henry C. Lee from Court Television, if you remember now, True Television. Lisa Peace and Godfrey Isaacs was also there, as was Ted Charach, and they screened the film, The Second Gun. And I kind of wondered, well, what are your feelings about that symposium, and how did the screening of The Second Gun go? Were there a lot of young people there? Did they have a lot of questions about it?
They had questions, but I was dumbfounded because the man that stuck the knife in my back, Shane O'Sullivan, suddenly turns and hears everybody praising me as a talent that gave over 40 years of my life and sacrifice, including Godfrey Isaac and Bob Joling and Von Prague. And suddenly this man, who shows no respect for me in his book, I read the book and I couldn't believe it, and I phoned him just 2 weeks ago when I had my facts down, and he hasn't had the courage to call me back, and accused him of shameful writing, and his film Betsy used to say, Betsy Langman, super sleuth, she used to call me, married to Betsy, Bud Schulberg, the author, Teddy, instead of eating humble pie, someday they're all going to eat shit. And they're going to find out you are who you say you are, and you have done extraordinary work. You're the super sleuth of this case. And when Godfrey Isaac took the stage in Chicago in 1975 at the American Academy of Forensic Sciences, he introduced me as the father of the second gun theory. Now, now proven that it's a discovery, not a theory. And Steve Cooley's Ted is not going to do anything about it. Paul Schrade is going up the wrong tree again. But Vincent Bugliosi has called me. Robert Joling, Professor McDonald. I was in constant contact with Lowell Bradford before his death. These are all people who gave of themselves selflessly and generously and never charged me a cent because they believed in my integrity and my probe. And the Dragon Lady, if you go to her website, Rose Lynn Magnan, M-A-G-N-A-M, or Massey is her original name. She was called the Dragon Lady because she is allegedly a control freak and dominating and allegedly bipolar. She's your friend today, and then she stabs you in the back tomorrow, and she's your friend again. And Shane O'Sullivan used her as a source in the book, and he used Robert Kaiser, and Kaiser at the symposium mocked him. Of course, it's all my material. In other words, he made Shane O'Sullivan his puppet, and O'Sullivan tried to build a CIA connection to the story, but it all backfired because the real people stood up and said that we're not CIA people, we were in the embassy ballroom. But I planted a mole, I won't say who his name is until you read my book, Into the Sirhan Case, and I know who and what Dr. Pepper is, and beware of him. And Looney Bird. Looney Bird is
Lisa Peace.
Lisa Peace. There's no such thing as blank bullets. It all originated with Crazy John Christian and was carried by the Dragon Lady Lynn. Lynn did some valuable research, and she deserves credit for what she did, but she's no more forensic expert than I am, and she tries to be, and she has failed. Now, I'm taking off the gloves because the American people and history and justice demands it. Bobby Kennedy said, we in the media, and that includes all of us, the alternative media, the established media, the world media, must be equal to the court systems and often ahead of the court system in protecting our fundamental rights. Amen, Bobby. And those who will seek the truth in life, who are not afraid to walk out of darkness but into the light. We are all born for each other. We are all teachers and students. There are no laws which state, either in the Bible or the Talmud, thus shalt thou believe and thus shalt thou not believe. In other words, we're not forcing belief. The laws only state thou shalt do and thou shalt do. I believe that I have walked with the mantle of justice and truth in my heart and mind, and let God be my judge. Thank God I'm still here to tell the world the true story, and I promise you I will. In termination 3, JFK, RFK, MLK, and this young man, Ted Huntington, will know the truth, and the truth, in the words of Mary Sirhan, will make us strong, and I say wiser. And I want to say that Bobby Kennedy prophesied that there would be an African-American president, or what he called a black president, because race relations were moving too fast, and he was a man of great talent with a sensitive voice for a sensitive cause, for sensitive people. And he was taken down at his prime, but he said within 30, 40 years there would be a black president. And he made the prophecy, and I made the prophecy, that the George Bush presidency would end under a cloud of darkness and the shoes would